Finally, the new Shimano Ep8 motor has been released, 4 new e-mountain bikes, and we look at the first EWS electric mountain bike race, who won and what they were riding. So let's get into it. Riders, welcome back to Sans Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today is a great day. Loads of cool new releases this week in the e-mountain bike market. And finally, the new Shimano Ep8 motor has been released. Smaller, lighter, quieter, and yes, loads more power with 85 Newton meters. So we're looking 85 Newton meters, 380 grams lighter, and much quieter than the E8000. Okay riders, I am really excited, and this could be the biggest release for 2020. The Shimano motor has been anticipated for the last year, and I think it looks better than I expected it would be. And the million-dollar question, can you retrofit the new motor on the old E8000 mount? Look, in theory you can, but for legal reasons you might not be able to. Also, Shimano are not selling it as a standalone unit yet. And also the wiring diagram is a little bit different. So the motor was only released yesterday, and I've already had loads of questions on the channel. Should I go and get myself a deal on the E8000 because they'll probably be dropping 15, 20, 30%, or should I spend that extra money and get the Ep8? Look, if it was me, you know, I run an e-bike channel, so I would definitely be looking to get the new motor. And yes, it's got more power and it's quieter, which I think is, you know, it is a pretty big deal. They're saying it's more efficient on battery usage. And also the main thing is most of these new bikes are going to come with the new 630 watt battery, which in my opinion is more important than the new motor. So if it was me riders, pony up, go for the new one. You only live once and you don't have time to riding old bikes. So on the same day as Shimano released the new motor, Commencal and Merida released their new 2021 bikes, and they are looking good. So first up, let's look at the SX from Commencal. It's a big, hard-hitting park bike. 180, 165 suspension. Clearly it has the new motor and new battery, running on 27 wheels. Seat angle 78, head angle 63, wheelbase 1,287, chainstay 445, and in the large, a reach of 485. I personally love the look of the new SX. They've tweaked the frame a little bit, bringing the standover height a little bit lower. And I think the tubing's more square. I think it looks really good. And if anyone's seen my customized decoy with 27 front and back, that is rocking 180 front and back and 165. So this is a perfect bike for me to test against the decoy. The Merida SX is coming in 2 models and starting at 5,499 euros. And now on to the bigger brother, the Meta 29. Of course, it's sporting the new SP8 with a 630 watt battery, running on 29s, 170 up front and 160 out back. Seat tube angle 78, head tube angle 63.5, wheelbase 1,286, chainstay 453, reach on a large 475. As you riders might know, I'm testing the YT Decoy 29er at the moment, 150, 145 suspension. And I'm really enjoying that bike, and I know I'm kind of a 27 lover, but there is something in these wagon wheels and I am really enjoying it. But I did ride the 29er at the bike park the other day and I found it getting out of its depth very quickly. So I think the new Meta 29 from Commencal really looks like a lot of fun. I really like the geo numbers. The Meta 29 is coming in 3 models starting at 5,499 euros. Both Meta SX and 29 will have a rider weight limit of 120 kilos, rider with riding gear. Commencal is taking orders on these bikes right now, so head over to their website, do some drooling, and maybe pick out your next e-whip. If you've been watching the channel, I have been hinting that I will be testing a Commencal Meta in the future. But which one do I go for? Do I go for the 27 and then compare it to my mullet 27? Or do I go for the Meta 29 and compare that against the Decoy 29er? Look, riders, it's a tough decision, I know. Let me know what you want to see me on, and maybe if we get enough comments, Commencal will send me two, so fingers crossed. And Merida has updated their E140 and E160 with the new EP8 motor and a 630 watt battery. Look, for me, the E160 is one of my favorite e-bikes, and now it's just got better. Rob Rides has done a full review of this bike and also his first thoughts of the EP8 motor. So head over to Rob's channel if you want to hear more information about the motor or bike. And it just keeps on coming. Hi-Bike released one of the best value traditional bike shop e-bikes on the market. The all-new all-mountain Hi-Bike for 2021, and what a price. The new Hi-Bike is amazing value, and it really should shake up the industry, sort of bridging that gap between the online bike shops and the traditional bike shops. The new Hi-Bike All Mountain has a carbon frame, 160 travel, Fox factory suspension, XT4 piston brakes, mullet wheel set, 600 watt battery, and an 80 Nm Yamaha PWX2 motor, weighing in at 23.7 kilos and 6,199 euros for the top spec. I know that is crazy value. If you don't know much about the Yamaha motor, for me, I've tested it in the Giant Rain a few months ago. It's not my favorite motor, but at the same time, it's going to get the job done. And at that price, with that spec, you really can't go wrong. Geo numbers look good, 65-degree head angle, reach on a large 461, chainstay pretty long at 460, but it will be very stable and a great climber, and a seat tube angle of 76.3. And this weekend, history was made. The very first EWS electric mountain bike race in Zermatt, and what a weekend it was. For me, this new category is super exciting, with loads of world champion downhill racers lining up on the day. Nico Vurio, Tracy Mosley, and one of my favorites, Fabian Burrell. The race is going to be a one-day event, 3 loops, 6 stages, and a power stage, which will consist of a 2 to 3 minute uphill technical battle, which for me, I saw the highlights, it looked amazing. If you think about it, this new category is really exciting. Like, a downhill racer starts off their career around 17, well, maybe 15 to 18, then they go from juniors to then elite, and then maybe when they're 30, 35, they'll do 5 years in enduro now. And now, after enduro, they can go to EWS electric enduro, which, you know, is gonna prolong their career, and it's also gonna give us more time to go and see our favorite races. And riders, if you haven't seen the highlights, maybe stop now because I'm about to talk about the winners, and you could head over to Electric Mountain Bike Network YouTube channel because they have all the highlights there. So for me, this new race is super interesting because we're gonna see ex-world champions racing, and also kind of like, I'm really interested to see the bike setup. Like, this is so new. So are they gonna be running 700 watt, 600 watt, 500 watt batteries, what motors, what tires, what wheels? You know, it's super interesting. And riders, the winners are as followed, and just go easy on me with the pronunciation of these names because they're not the easiest names to say. And in first place, we have Melanie Puggin on her BH with a Bros Mag S motor on 29 wheels. And in second place, we have Tracy Mosley on the Trek Rail 29er with a Bosch motor. And in third place, we have Natalie Schneider on the Trek Rail, also with a Bosch motor running on 29 wheels. And in the men's category, first place went to Yannick Pontal on his Lapierre GLP2 with a Bosch motor running on mullet wheels. Runner-up was none other than Nico Vurio on his Lapierre as well, GLP2, running on mullet wheels with a Bosch motor. And in third position was Jose Borges on his KTM, also with a Bosch motor, running on 29 wheels. So if we look at the setup across the board, we had, out of the 6 winners, we had 5 Bosch motors and 1 Bros. For me, I thought we might see a few taped up Shimano Ep8 motors, but it didn't seem like it on the day. And on a personal note, September is going to be dry September for me. with all this COVID stuff going on, I put on a few kilos and my riding pants are not fitting me so well. So I've decided to go off the booze for a month, also go on a bit of a diet and try and do 150 Ks a week. If any of the riders want to join me out there, feel free. And hot off the press, I just released the email while I'm shooting this video. Propain have released their new e-bike for 2021 and it looks amazing. The newer Cano, you can order it in 29, mullet or 27 wheels. Not sure on the suspension. It is running the new Shimano motor and battery. And one of the great things about Propain is you can fully customize your bike. Go on their website, have a look at all the different parts you might want to pick and build your dream bike. It's actually a lot of fun, and I'd say that Propain are gonna sell a load of these bikes this year. And riders, if you have not entered the Ride Concept competition, go back to the video where it says win these Ride Concept shoes, watch the video, enter the competition. It's that easy, and you can get a chance to win a great pair of new Ride Concept shoes. Winner will be announced when I do my long-term review on the 20th of September. So good luck, riders. And riders, if you haven't bought a Sam's Bike t-shirt, head over to the link in the description and buy a t-shirt. I'm pretty sure you'll love them and it will help support the channel. And riders, that's it for me today. It's not gonna be a regular thing. I don't wanna every week feed you with rubbish, but it probably, in my opinion, is probably one of the biggest weeks in the e-mountain bike year. And I just thought I had to get this video out and give you all the information. Riders, remember, if you have not subscribed to the channel, share it with your friends. It really means a lot. And stay safe out there and buy a t-shirt, and I'll see you next week.